Hello, I'm Matt Williamson. What's going on? At Williamson NFL. Give me a follow there. So today, first of all, let's just address the latest news. Jari Alexander signed with the Ravens. And I know that disappoints some of you. I've thrown his name around for the Steelers to at least kick the tires. 1 year, $6 million. I would have been all over that. He's a little redundant for what the Steelers have. He's not a slot corner, and neither is Slay, neither is Porter. And frankly, he's missed a ton of time, and he's just a big personality. It didn't jive super well with the Green Bay Packers, and really has only played substantial games in 1 out of the last 4 years. But when he's out there, he's a top 10 corner. So I would have loved the Steelers to get him. Especially at $6 million. But folks, this isn't really in their hands. He wanted to play with his good friend and college teammate, Lamar Jackson. So he did. We talked about this earlier in the week. Like, you can't just sign everybody you want. They are free agents. They are free. They can do what they want. He wanted to play for the Ravens. Ravens said, great. Gives them an awesome secondary, at least while he's, when he's playing, of course. I think that part goes without saying. He's a bit of a risk taker, but he's really good in man coverage. He's good and off. He can play zone. I think Wiggins, our first-round pick last year, has a really bright future, and he's starting to come on. He came on heavy at the end of last year. Humphrey has, frankly, been a star for them for quite some time. I don't know who their two-corner package will be, but Humphrey will definitely be a high-end slot when the three of them are out there. And I know they lost to Darius Washington, a smaller but good safety. But they also drafted Starks in the first round to go with Hamilton. So it's going to it projects on paper right now Baltimore to have one of the best secondaries in the league, assuming Alexander's on the field. He would have been a wonderful Steeler, guys, but he wanted to go there. They wanted to get him. I would still be interested in Jalen Ramsey. And frankly, I would prefer Ramsey. We'll see. Possible. Who knows? BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. With baseball season in full swing, we're deep into the NBA Finals, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. We keep the dog days of summer rolling with the largest selection of odds on everything, with updated odds on MLB, UFC, and boxing, to tennis and NFL futures. BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. So every year in the offseason leading up, I do this at least once. I may even do it again right before the season, after we see training camp or deep into training camp. But I have two categories of Steelers. One is make or break players. Like Loudermilk was on there last year. I'm not sure if he made or broke, but he did enough to at least get a contract to come back and be in camp this year. Guys like that, like that are kind of at a career crossroads. That's not what I'm doing today, though. And the other one is X Factors. And the way I kind of classify that's what we're going to talk about today. And I have 6 names. These are guys with a lot of talent, high draft picks, or have had really good moments in the league. And if they can give you their best football, the best football we've seen of them, or close to it, wow, that could really impact the season in a positive way. But they're also a little less reliable at this stage of their career. Like they're not TJ Watt. Like TJ Watt's not an X Factor. I know what TJ Watt is. Cam Hayward's the perfect example of not being an X Factor. I know exactly what he is. But these 6 guys, I don't. And let's say all 6 play close to their capabilities. Could be a monster season. If they all flounder, So here's my list. First one's Aaron Rodgers. I know that's super low-hanging fruit, but I don't expect him to be MVP Aaron Rodgers. I think that is an impossibility. But if he's the 10th best quarterback in the league, Aaron Rodgers, okay. If he's the player that was in a really rough circumstances with terrible protection, etc., and produced like he did early in his Jets career or Jets season last year, if all of a sudden he looks old, can't move, can't improv, doesn't want to get hit at all, well, it's going to be a long year. But if he can show glimpses, 8 throws a game, 5 throws a game, looking spry out there, enjoying himself, making those around him better, I think we know the ramifications of what that could be. I think the most obvious name on this list, and we've brought it up and a lot of mailbag questions have centered around it, is Broderick Jones. Now, does he have to be Anthony Munoz? No. But hopefully, and I think it's possible, this season goes well enough that it's an easy decision to pick up his 5th-year option. That's a success for me. That's a great success. And then you can figure out a long-term contract after that, etc. But if it's, oh no, this is a problem. We need to draft a left tackle in the first round, but I wanted to use that first-round pick on a quarterback. It could go either way with this guy. I mean, it just absolutely could. Ramon Wilson's another name. Now, he's a 3rd-round pick. He's not a first-round pick. But if he doesn't do anything now, he might not do anything. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have 2 wasted years to start your career unless you're a first-round pick or, crazy, super talent. But if he comes on and competes to be the number 3, catches 40 balls, I think he's an X factor. He could certainly help this team at a position that needs it. Ramon Wilson's a definition of this. I hesitated to put this guy on, but I kind of think you could probably put every rookie first-round pick in this category. So I did put Derek Harmon. We just don't know. I mean, I love the prospect. That's the pick I would have made when the Steelers were on the clock. Does he make an instant impact? Like, I'm not saying he puts Cam Hayward on the bench because he's better than him. But does he impact game after game? Does he make splash plays? Do they trust him? Is he putting in a lot of snaps? Or is it a slow burn? And by the end of the year, he's doing that. Okay, that wouldn't be terrible. Or are we seeing guys like Dean Lowry play over him just because he's not ready? That's an X factor. Last 2, Patrick Queen. Played exceptionally well his last year in Baltimore next to Roquan Smith. And I've been meaning to address this with you guys. A lot of people have said he only played great because he was next to Roquan. Now, I don't look at that position like I look at Higgins benefits from Chase or Highsmith benefits from Watt. But maybe there's some truth to that. But what I wanted to mention from a Steeler perspective is no one seems to say, boy, Roquan didn't play as well without Queen. And he didn't. So maybe the combination of them, 1 + 1 might equal 3. Who knows? We had some Raven talk early in the show. But we know Queen can be a plus player. I mean, he has great traits, speed, and he was underwhelming to say the least last year. I don't think he was terrible, but he was underwhelming. And I think he's also the definition of an X factor. Like it could go a little worse. That would be a problem. Or it could get noticeably better. That's an X factor. Last one's kind of a goofy one. But I'm going with the punter, Johnston. And his replacement, Corliss Waitman, certainly wasn't bad. They did not have bad punting last year. But I was so excited about Johnson, especially when I saw him at camp. But even after they signed him, after years and years of bad punting, he can be one of the best punters in the league. and not only just booming them and yards per kick type of thing, but controlling the football, knuckleballs, coffin corner kicks, forcing fair catches, dealing with weather. So he's coming off a major injury. But if the guy I saw in training camp a year ago is their punter this year, there's going to be a lot of hidden yardage benefits. But if he's not what you paid for because of the injury, and Waitman's on the Bears or something at the time, you could be back to having bad punting. Who knows? So X factor. Those are my 6. I'm sure you guys have some others. Again, I'm not putting Dean Lowry on there. Leal, I guess maybe, but he just hasn't shown me enough. He's more the other category, the make or break type guys, you know. So give me some other names. That's a wrap. Take care. Have a great weekend.